Hi Kitaholics Kit subscribers, it's Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thanks for popping over to watch this exclusive video. So I am creating a layout today and I just want to show you the way I try and get the most out of my bits of paper. So you can see there's a big gaping hole in this piece of paper I'm working with. I cut something out of it. I wanted it. So instead of cutting it from right against the edge, I cut it from a little bit in from the edge so that I could still use this paper as a border piece. Or in this case, I'm actually going to use the entire piece of paper and just stick my photos over that gap. So just an idea for you as well when you're cutting out things from your page. Think about, where could a cut file go? Where could my photos go? Can I get 2 lives out of this paper? Maybe. So I decided I wanted to put this stencil on top of this busy paper. Probably wasn't necessary. You can't really see it. When you look close up, you can, but not much. I probably should have either not done it at all or perhaps used the gold texture paste, because at least then it would have popped a little bit more. But anyway, doesn't matter. So I have got a 3 photo layout happening here. And I'm going to be using one piece of paper from my stash as well, which is that sort of crinkly effect homemade paper that you could see that triangle was made of. I just really love the texture that adds to the page. So I've matted my 2 photos together in a big white square cardstock, and then I've matted that on just a plain green cardstock, and then I've matted that again onto that homemade style paper. And that's just nice and big now, so it covers that hole easily without having to force it to fit. And I'm just having a play with the type of effect that I can get here using some strips of that green just for fun. I just like the look of adding something a little bit different going across the page. So I'm going to glue that down. Oh, a little bit of sticky tape just to hold it in place. It's going to be under the photos anyway. And then I'm going to pop a little bit of glue underneath the flappy ends. Glue and glue on the other side. And then obviously I'll cut those bits that are overhanging. I'll cut those flush with the page. Then once I've got that down, ta-da! Once I've got that down, I'm going to pop my photos up on foam, I think, and stick those down over the hole. I nearly always, 99% of the time, put my photos up on foam. I like those to be the central eye-catching part of my layout, so that's what the layout is for. Even though the layout is pretty and there's so much to be done on it, the photos are the whole purpose for me, along with the journaling. So I do like to pop that up. Then instead of doing a square over here, I decided to put a little triangle, a little bit different, something a little bit more unusual. So I'm going to adhere that triangle to the page and then pop my 3rd photo up on there. There's a little bit of, you probably wouldn't even notice, but there's like a pen line, a biro line in the top point of the corner. So I'm going to end up sticking that point off the page and trimming the triangle down so that you don't see the biro. I'm sure everyone else looking at it probably wouldn't notice the biro anyway, but I did. So I'm going to change that. I can see it now looking at this video, so you must be able to see it. Anyway, chopped that off. Cut. So once I have done that, I can then pop up my 3rd photo. My scissors need a bit of a clean. They're a bit gummy, so it was a little bit hard to cut. Popping up my 3rd photo on foam and popping that on top of the triangle. And there's sort of the base of my page done. So you could absolutely leave it just like that, maybe pop a title on and some journaling, and wham bam, you're finished. But of course we love to add some embellishments. Now I did actually find this a little bit tricky to embellish because I wanted to stick to theme. I really wanted to stick to the sort of safari animal play type theme. And there is that gorgeous giraffe that he would be getting on 100% because he matches so well with the toys that my son is playing. And then I wasn't sure about my title. In the end, I decided to go with the High Dreamer because it's sort of make-believe, and he's very good at playing make-believe. I think that's the age he is, being 4, but he can occupy himself for hours just playing games. He loves to know that we're aware of him and that we're watching, but he doesn't specifically want us or need us to join in. We almost ruin it, in fact. He loves to just keep himself busy, which is just beautiful to watch. So I'm having a play with what else I can add to this collection, to this layout, to sort of lift it a bit more off the page. But as I said, there's not a lot of ephemera that's really going to work for me. So I decided to pop a tag behind the giraffe. And I really like that word up the top, get lost in what you love. So I want to keep that as well. And what else? Not a lot else. So I'm going to pop on my title. And then I'll be almost done. I had to play with trying to get the little budgies on the layout from the Fifth and Monaco collection, but in the end they just didn't quite have the right feel to them, so I've decided I did decide not to go along with those budgies and just to stick with the 4 things that I've got at the moment, or the 3 things that I've got at the moment. I've got to trim up a little bit of foam to pop those underneath my thickers so that it can stay popped up, because I want to put those thickers on top of the photos and on top of the giraffe and the tag. They will need to be foamed up as well. It is the fiddly part of popping up of thickers that I sometimes try and avoid. I deliberately move titles sometimes so that I don't have to cut super tiny bits of super tiny bits of foam tape to go underneath them. But I do really like the look of having them up layered on top of my photos and things. So once this is all stuck down, no, I haven't stuck these down yet, so I thought I'd better do that before they move. I really like it, but I just feel like it's missing something. I don't think there's enough ephemera going on, and I think it just needs a little bit more. So I do think those puffy stickers will help me, and I love these butterflies, so they're going to come to my rescue, I think. Tuck that under a little bit more. Then what else can we do? I think I'm going to pop a little bit of thread in around it as well. You'll be amazed at how much the thread can really help to make something pop. It just adds that little bit more texture, and it just lifts the page a little bit with not necessarily colour, because, you know, you could just use a white, but just a little bit of something else to help pull the page up off from being looking and feeling so flat. So definitely I just literally use sewing machine thread, nothing fancy, just to help pull it up a little bit. What else? Got those cute little puffy stickers happening. I really am looking through my ephemera to see what I can do. And I definitely recommend doing that as well. Just keep looking through your ephemera, keep trying out pieces, just try and help yourself find a solution to your problem. So I thought I could use some word phrases because, again, there'll just be something else to add to the clusters as well. So I do pop those on underneath my title. And even though there's a lot of words already going on up there, I just like the look of having that white up there as well. So many to choose from. I'm aware of length and I am aware of what they say. I think the size of the strip is almost as important as what that strip of words actually says. So I've got to read and look at length at the same time. So once I've done all of this, it still needs something, so I'm going to pop in some Heidi Swap Color Shine. We know I always put that on a page, so you guys have got the Jen Hatfields, definitely splatter that on. Just helps to give a little sparkle and a little pop. Doodle doodle doo. But again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm still not thrilled. I still feel like something is not quite finishing it off. So again, I'm pulling out some Diamantes and popping those on. I like to make sure they stick with the clusters, and then it's starting to feel a little bit more like home. But what I did do off camera, and just to really finish off the layout, was to pop some string behind it, because as I said earlier, I really think that helps to add to the texture and the feel of the layout, and you can see there what a big difference that makes to each of the clusters. So thank you so much for watching this exclusive layout. I hope you have enjoyed it, and please stick around for the next one next time.